So just to go over a little bit of the telemetry that you get, the upper left-hand corner is the voltage on the copter. 25.4 volts means it's fully charged,
right,
and it's going to go down to 22.2 volts approximately, and that you need to be landing at that point or have before that. On the left, you've got distance from your takeoff point to where the copter is, and then under that is the height, that is the altitude. This one is all in meters, but I'm used to that because other life as a geophysicist, I'm pretty used to the metric system. And then you have a variety of other things. You've got vertical airspeed on the right. You've got the number of satellites. You see the little satellite image here, and then 12 shows I have 12 satellites. Then you've got actually measurements of pitch and roll, and the diamond, which I think Romeo and Mark were talking about earlier, that tells us that the copter's right out in front of us. So I think we're actually ready to start the motor. So I always go through a procedure for safety in which I, especially when there's people around, I say, starting motors. Everyone, I want to announce that I'm starting the motors. Then I go through what I call a cyclic check on the ground, and I just give it some forward pitch, some backwards pitch, left and right, and that tells me that the copter is at least qualitatively responding properly. And at that point, if that works right, then I say lifting off, and I'm going to lift off. Now gear up. Now we can talk about the, I'm going to move it out a little further.
That's a little loud. That's a big bug.
So the idea is to do landscape photography and cinematography. So what makes this aircraft so good at doing that? Well, keep your eye on the camera and watch what happens when I do very sharply left and very sharply right. Notice the camera is still horizontal, and that's because of the gimbal. The gimbal is in real time counteracting the pitch, roll, and yaw. So the pitching is pitch forward or back, roll is left to right, and yaw is a pan, or rotation. So the left stick controls the throttle if I go up or I go down, and then the left stick also controls the yaw or rotation. So there's a counterclockwise and a clockwise roll. And then the right stick is, I call it the cyclic after the helicopter terminology. And so forward on the right stick takes you forward, backward takes you backwards, left takes you left, and then right. So that is the basics of the copter and the gimbal, but we can talk more about the gimbal and what it does.
Yeah, while you're doing the shots, if you want to set up a specific shot, how do you move that gimbal? And you can rotate the gimbal independent of the craft.
Yeah,
too.
Let me just bring it a little closer, and I'll put it in free mode. And now I'm rotating just the gimbal, but I can also rotate the copter in the other direction, and it doesn't affect what the gimbal's doing at all.
Yeah, that's amazing that it has that independence.